Weeki Wachee Springs State Park in Spring Hill, Florida is a true Florida gem. It's famous for its mermaids, bright blue water that seems to be from another world, and manatees who flock here, especially in the winter months. Today we'll start with a kayak ride down the river, then we'll head to Buccaneer Bay to swim in the springs. While we didn't get a chance to catch a mermaid show on this trip, Buccaneer Bay is where you would do that. This video was filmed on a Monday, and so we had a very laid back and relaxing experience. It does get busy on the weekends and in the summer months, so make sure to reserve your kayaks ahead of time. In addition, Buccaneer Bay reaches capacity quickly, especially in the summer months, and once they reach capacity, you will not be allowed to enter. So keep that in mind if you're planning a trip. This place is popular because it's beautiful. It is not overrated in our opinion. There is a reason people want to come here, so that just involves a little bit of planning depending on the time of year you're visiting. When you arrive to kayak, you will drive through the parking lot of Buccaneer Bay as you see here. You won't park in that same parking lot though, because they do have specific kayak parking for you. It's really easy, you'll just follow the signs. On busy days, they'll even have people there guiding traffic as well, especially because on the busy days, like if Buccaneer Bay is at capacity and they aren't letting people in anymore, you can only park here on those days if you have proof of a kayak reservation. Parking is right in front of this building here, which is where you'll sign your waivers. It literally takes less than 5 minutes. All you do is sign your waiver, grab your life jackets, grab your paddles, and you are off. You don't even carry your kayak. It's a very short walk from the building to the launch site. The staff will be waiting for you at the launch site. It's so seamless and so easy. This is why we love renting from here so much. We just launched at Weeki Wachee. We are kayaking the river today. If you're not familiar with the Weeki Wachee River, you can rent kayaks from the state park, and you do need reservations. You can also pay to launch your own from their launch. It's about a 2.8 mile kayak, but you're going with the stream, so you really don't have to kayak at all if you don't want to. You can literally just sit here and let it carry you, which is nice. You just need to guide, which I have a great one. So if you haven't ever seen this place before, seen pictures of this place, it's absolutely stunning. The water is completely see-through, even right now. I don't know if you can see those fish. And honestly, we're not even at the pretty part yet, and it's already beautiful. So the pretty part that I'm talking about is a little bit downstream. You will see bright blue see-through water that doesn't even look real. This is a very popular place to come kayak, and this is one of our favorites. Today is actually our third time doing this paddle. It is absolutely stunning. I highly recommend it. If you're lucky, you'll see some manatees. It is a little early for manatee season. It is late September right now. So we can cross our fingers and hope to see them, but this is just, it's beautiful out here. Definitely we'll see some turtles. I don't know. It's also, I should mention, it's a Monday. This is a very popular paddle. Reservations can fill up for a kayak a week in advance. So if you do want to come down here, especially on a weekend, make sure you get those reservations in. We're here on a Monday, so it's not as busy today. And just keep that in mind, because if you come on a weekend, your experience will probably be a little bit different. It's going to be busier. It's popular because it's so beautiful. All right, so I think that's everything. We're already seeing so many fish, and I will show you. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. The water's so clear. It's crazy. It's just you can see
already.
Is it weird that it's cold and I want to drink it?
It's freezing. Yeah, the water's
the
really
water's
cold.
And I want to drink it.
But the water stays the same temperature year round. So can you see this little patch here? See that patch where it's like see-through and not see-through, but it's all see-through. I don't know what I'm saying, but where it's so blue there, that's what the whole river is going to be like up here. The other thing I was just going to mention is if you have kayaked Weeki Wachee before and haven't done it in a while, a few things have changed since we last kayaked here. So it used to be that like only the first, I don't know, like half mile or so was state park. And then after that, you could get out of your kayak and swim in the water. That's no longer the case. It is now all a state park, meaning you cannot get out of your kayak and you cannot swim on this little tour part. It's a self-guided tour, but the other thing is that I forgot to mention, so you launch at one place and then you get out at another place and you get on a bus that'll take you back. So that's really a convenient part of renting too. You don't have to like figure out how you're gonna get yourself back to the start. That's sometimes something to figure out, you know? All right. I'm going to talk more about kayaking at Weeki Wachee, but first I have to acknowledge this beautiful water. So when I was listening back to my explanation of changes at Weeki Wachee, there were a few more things I wanted to explain about the logistics of renting on the Weeki Wachee River. For starters, we booked our kayak rental through Weeki Wachee Springs State Park. We love renting kayaks with them because it's by far the easiest and most hassle-free way to get on the river. Not long ago, most of the paddle was not in state park property, so at that time you could get out and swim. The route hasn't changed, but the duration of the paddle has, so you still launch in the same place, but you get picked up much earlier. It went from being close to 6 miles to now being about 2.8. It's also 100% state park property now. I know I already mentioned that, but that's important because you now need to stay in your kayak for the duration of the paddle. Your rental will be for 2 hours, which is more than enough time to get from the launch to the shuttle site that picks you up to bring you back. We actually did not paddle at all other than to steer the kayak, and we arrived within the 2-hour window with no problems. They no longer allow single-use plastic, so if you want to bring water with you, make sure you have a reusable water bottle. That's just an overview of some of the changes you can expect if you've kayaked here before, and also an overview of what to expect if it's your first time. I'll also link their website in my description if you're interested in booking with them. You can also rent a stand-up paddleboard. They have that option available as well. There are other kayak rental options in the area where you could paddle outside of the state park, which would allow you to get out and swim. We have not ever rented anywhere else because, again, renting from the state park is just so convenient and easy. So I can't give you an overview based on my experience, but the other kayak rental companies also have amazing reviews, and I will link them in the description as well. The trip being shortened with the state park is a nice way to get a quick trip out on the river, but on days that I want to explore a little bit longer, I think we'll check out one of the other companies. I think the biggest downside to one of the other companies is that it can involve paddling upstream in order to get to these beautiful blue areas that you're seeing. Some of the reviews say that paddling upstream is a pretty big challenge, and then others say it's not. So I kind of think it depends on the day, and then of course how much paddling experience you have. This was one of our favorite parts of the day. We were just filming and kayaking down the river like normal when this huge school of fish just swam by. It seemed to be never ending. It just went on forever. It was one of the highlights. It was just really cool. So now I'm just going to show you some of the footage of us making our journey down the river. Really, I keep calling it paddling, but it was really more like just floating, honestly. It was so easy and relaxing and amazing. I took a lot of video footage because it's just so stunning. Like every turn, every corner, it just does not get old. It's absolutely beautiful. The video is not slowed down in any of these. We were just going with the current, so sometimes we were floating a little bit faster than other times. But yeah, I will just show you some of our footage. I couldn't cut any of it because it's just, like I said, beautiful and I want to show you all of it. So here it is.
Look ahead, the sea is calm, and I know we've been through a lot, but just wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. 7 years now on this boat, and we all know where we belong. Just wait. Wait for our home to show on the horizon, soon we'll be there. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore when we can't read the sky. We just sail with the wind that we've got. And when we're drowning in doubt, just keep on believing. We are dreamers of the shore.
This was another cool part of the trip. We saw this fish jump so high in the air. I didn't see it, and I honestly thought that something had fallen from the tree until I went back and looked at the video. So that was pretty cool as well. Mitchell saw a turtle. He also saw a manatee like come up for air, and I only saw like the ripples from it after it had gone back under. So I knew it had been there, and we actually couldn't find it again. We tried to kind of look for it and it literally just disappeared, which is kind of funny. So yeah, only one manatee that you may or may not count as being seen on this trip this time. I get asked a lot if there are alligators in Weeki Wachee, and yes, there are. I mean, it's Florida. There's almost always going to be an alligator somewhat close by. But I've personally never seen one, nor do I know anyone who has. So they're pretty rare because they prefer to be in the marshy areas where people are not kayaking. So, of course, use common sense, but they're not anything to worry about on this paddle. We are almost at the end of our paddle now, and one thing that I will say is that when it was around a 5.5 mile paddle, at the end of the day, at the end of that paddle, I was ready to be done. I was ready to get out. It was a good day, and I was done. With it being 2.8 miles, I really wanted to keep going. I just loved it. It was so beautiful and it went by so fast. But it's kind of fun to like leave an experience wanting more because then it's such a good memory and something that you really want to do again. Whereas when you are ready to get out, it's kind of like, well, that was good, but that's enough. So that was just kind of my experience, and everyone's a little bit different, but something I thought maybe I would note. This is where you'll get out. You can see those people with orange shirts at the bottom. They pull the kayak out for you. You don't even have to do that. That van is your shuttle. They'll load the kayaks in the back. You'll sit in the van, and it's like an 8-minute drive right back to your car. So simple, so easy. Our shuttle driver gave us a history of Weeki Wachee, which we thought was really interesting. I'll let you listen as well.
The river, the man that started the river started this, well, the man who started Weeki Wachee Springs was a guy by the name of Newton Perry. He started it in 1946, and in 1947 he opened with the first mermaid show. Before he did that, he was an underwater demolition diver trainer for the U.S. during World War II. He developed the breathing through the tube apparatus, and in 1950, Weeki Wachee Springs was the #1 tourist attraction in the United States, and the only paved road out here was US 19. ABC Broadcasting bought him out in 1959, and in 1962 they opened it up as Buccaneer Bay, and they put in the theater seating so you can watch the mermaid show from the side instead of looking down. They put in the slides and the beach area and all that stuff. They did all that, and it's remained that way pretty much ever since. No one's changed it. There's been a couple of private owners, but no one's ever changed it. The spring itself is over 400 feet deep. They really don't know how deep it is because it stair steps down, and they've really never been able to get down the bottom. But they have they don't regulate it, but they've measured the water coming out, and it averages 117 million gallons a day.
Wow.
Which is enough to fill 177 Olympic-sized pools every 24 hours, or 7.4 an hour. And that's what creates the current that runs down, and it runs from the springs all the way down to the Gulf. It empties out into the Gulf, which is about 8 miles down.
We did not plan to go to Buccaneer Bay here at Weeki Wachee today, but every time we've been here, the parking lot is just exploding full at like 10 a.m. and it is now around noon and it's empty. So we figured, why the heck not? So this is where the mermaids are. This is a little water park. Our tour guide told us that it's at least 400 feet deep. You heard him say that they're not sure exactly how deep it is because they've gone so far down and didn't get to the end of it, so no one really knows. But yeah, this is unexpected. And I didn't realize how bad I wanted to do this until we decided to come here, and now I'm just like so excited. I mean, I'm not sure if any of you knew this, but I'm actually a mermaid. So going back to my natural habitat here.
Yeah, Buccaneer Bay.
I think I'm a little more excited than Mitchell, but he's being a good sport. He's not a mermaid, so it does make sense.
So cool. Oh.
It really does look like we're in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
It's like they planted this like moss stuff so that you would think it's natural, but it's not. Yeah. We are at Buccaneer Bay, and unfortunately almost everything is closed. Here is the slide. Super fun. There's 2 slides. Behind me is that natural spring, so we went for a dip in there, which was really nice. Since you can't get out of your kayak anymore, we didn't get to swim, and we really missed that. That was a really fun part of the experience. So this was a good way to still get to swim in the springs. Pretty cold, but it feels so good when the sun is out like it is today. It's just perfect. There are also mermaid shows here, like I mentioned. They're at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock today, so we won't be able to go personally because we have to pick up our dog from doggy daycare at 4, and it's about an hour drive for us from here. So I wish I could see that both for myself and to show you, but just know that those are here, and those are very popular, famous. It's one of the things that made Buccaneer Bay here in Weeki Wachee famous. So yeah, there's a little bar behind me. It's closed. It's pretty quiet here today, not too many people, so I'm not sure if that's why. So yeah, still pretty cool. Good place to check out. Before heading home, we grabbed lunch at the upper deck. It's right across the street from Rogers Park, which is where the shuttle used to pick you up, and I've been wanting to eat here since the first time we kayaked Weeki Wachee. I'm so glad we were able to make it happen on this trip because nothing is better than a nice cold beer after kayaking on the river. It was the perfect way to end the day, and we even saw a couple different groups of manatees. My favorite part of seeing the manatees was just how excited the whole restaurant got, even the employees who see them all the time. It was so fun that they still get excited over this. In this clip, you can see a bigger one kind of by these people, and then there's a baby that's swimming over there to catch up. I know manatees can be kind of hard to see. Sometimes they truly do blend in. There they go, and here's everyone watching them. It was so cool. Not only did we love watching manatees from the upper deck, but we also loved watching the other kayakers, and this airboat was really cool as well. You can kind of see the Kayak Shack on the left. This is one of the other rentals I was talking about, and this is of course where they would be launching. Now it's about 5.5 miles downstream from where we started our journey, meaning that you would be paddling upstream to kind of get to where we were. Now you definitely would not have to go as far as we did. You would not have to kayak all the way to the launch to have a good experience or to see that beautiful blue water. And I think that this is the company we'll try next time we want to spend more time on the water. It's also worth noting that if you have your own kayak or paddleboard, you can launch from Rogers Park. Okay, so today's video is probably one of my favorite videos. Weeki Wachee truly is so special, and there's just nothing quite like it. We love the Florida Springs and hope to get to more soon. Hopefully you enjoyed this day trip as well. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel to keep following along. It really means so much to us. Thank you again for being here.
They're all coming out today. Whoa, 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 yeah!
I love that you still get excited. I love it.
Oh.
I know. I know. Do those kayakers even know? I don't think they do.
The best part is when they don't know that they do and they're standing in the water and they think it's a shark or a gator or something and they get up and scream.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah.
Look at it.
Looks like it's having trouble with the current.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, man. Oh, okay.
These 2 kids are like badass.
Yeah.
Not a peep. They've got to be from Minnesota.